acquitted and discharged these two individuals. Our legal affairs correspondent Murtala Inusa is joining us via Zoom to give us an update and to help us understand exactly what happened. Murtala, welcome to the bulletin. So you reported earlier that Richard Jakpa and Dr. Kesel Atuportin have been acquitted and discharged by the Court of Appeal. What happened in court before that final verdict was given?
So, for those who remember, I'm taking you back to March 30, 2023, where Justice Efia-Sewa Sariboje ruled that prosecution, per their witnesses, have made a case for Dr. Kesel Atuportin and Richard Jakpa, the businessman, to answer, for which reason currently they are in the witness box answering questions. Dr. Atuportin is done calling witnesses. Mr. Jakpa, we do know what is happening. Yesterday, one of his witnesses was in court. And in fact, while the trial was ongoing before Justice Efia-Sewa Sariboje has directed, the lawyers also filed an appeal against that ruling on the 30th of March to have the accused person or to challenge that order for them to open their defense. What they say was that prosecution has not made any sufficient evidence to the charges. In fact, Dr. Atuportin is facing 2 counts: one, willfully causing financial loss to the Republic, and intentionally misapplying public funds. And Richard Jakpa is facing the 1 count of willfully causing financial loss to the state. Now, a panel of 3 this morning heard the argument in relation to the submission of no case earlier and fixed today for its decision. Yes, 2-1 was the decision that the Court of Appeal, as it were, reached. Justice Kweku Tewia Akabuafo and Justice Philip Bright Mensah agreed that the application filed by the case filed by the accused person would succeed, and Justice Opoku Echampo, as it were, dissented on that. And so for that to happen, what it means, or what is clear, is that the case in which the accused persons are facing trial at the High Court will no longer stand. You notice that this case is supposed, in fact, let me tell you one of the things that the panel, in fact, the 2 justices who, as it were, agreed with the accused person, what they said was that if there's anybody to blame in relation to that, it is the Ministry of Health. And Lantam, just before I continue, I want to talk to Mr. Richard Jakpa, who is here right now, talking to, in fact, just at the High Court, when the case is expected to happen. Mr. Richard Jakpa, you are welcome to Newsroom GHOne TV. A short while ago, you were at the Court of Appeal, where the Court of Appeal is saying that you are acquitted and discharged. For the second time, how do you receive that particular decision from the Court of Appeal, the second highest court of the land?
Well, I'm a very happy man, no doubt about that. And I'm also very gracious to God and all the lawyers who participated in getting my freedom for me, secure my freedom. They worked very, very hard under very, very adverse conditions, and they were very committed, and they did what they had to do and secure my freedom.
If you look at all the issues that surrounded this case up until this time, you feel vindicated?
Oh, yes, of course. I've been vindicated beyond all reasonable doubt. My integrity is very intact. They wanted to use the military to dent my integrity, but it was very clear. I was not released from the military based on the grounds of misconduct. It was because I didn't have interest in the military, and that was clearly established.
Earlier, you told me that you were coming to the High Court to pick up your passport, and to the effect that Justice, if you no longer be under the control of Justice Efia-Sewa Sariboje. Have you picked up your passport yet?
Or not yet. My lawyers will take care of that. There is a process they must go through.
At this particular point in time that we are talking to you now, what is the fate of the case at the High Court? You were supposed to be at the High Court, but I see you leaving the premises.
Well, I came back to the High Court because my lawyers said they were supposed to go to the High Court, needed to be informed officially of the decision of the Appeal Court. But when we came, unfortunately, Justice Efia-Sewa did not turn up. I don't know whether she's gotten wind of the outcome of the Appeal Court. So that is why I'm going.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. So, Lantam, that is Mr. Richard Jakpa, the second accused person in this whole matter. What is clear now is that the Court of Appeal, a 3-member panel of the Court of Appeal, has acquitted. In fact, 2-1 majority acquitted and discharged. And that is one of his lawyers, Bafo Jehu Bonsuesia. I wanted to engage him, but it looked clearly that he's not ready to engage. So that is the moment here at the law court complex. What is clear is that Mr. Jakpa, following the decision of the Court of Appeal, is a free man and is working from.
Very well, Murtala Inusa, thank you for bringing us that update from the court. Murtala Inusa is our court correspondent, of course, bringing us that update from the court. You heard him there speak to Richard Jakpa, who is now a free man because he has been acquitted and discharged, together with Dr. Kesiel Ato Forson. Let's find out what some of the reactions to this has been on social media. Nana Ama Akwa is in the studio with the details of these reactions. Nana Ama, what have people been saying?
Well, Lantam, people have a lot to say. We'll go straight over to Facebook. We have here, finally. Then we have Bravehearted, who says, so work done is zero. All the noise. We also have Jonathan, who says, in any serious country, the AG will have to resign. Then the next comment, good judgment. Shame to the Attorney General. Such a disgrace of an Attorney General. This was politically motivated persecution. We also have Komla. In my opinion, the alleged misconduct of the AG has played a huge role in this judgment. If everything said about him asking someone to act in a certain way in order for the case to go in a certain direction is true, then it means there was no wrongdoing in the first place. However, I still believe that anyone who causes financial loss to the state should be held accountable. We have Billy, none of my business. NPP and NDC politicians are like twins, he says. If they're fighting and you go there to separate them, they'll team it up against you. Let me stay in my one corner with my endless hustle to get supper for my poor family. And he says 101, which means he's going to eat breakfast and dinner. Peter adds, Jakpa, great man with integrity. Dr. Ato Forson, a man with integrity and respect. He said, Attorney General Jakpa. Then when we move over to X, formerly Twitter, Junior says waste of state resources, whilst they know the case has no legs to stand on. Raymond adds, Mr. Dami should not be a legal practitioner in this country anymore. He is not fit, in his opinion. We also have Kwame, Nana Kwame there. Kezio Ato Forson, just glad this too has passed peacefully. Thank God, now you can focus on more pressing and challenging issues. We have Richard here. There are more compelling cases for the Attorney General to prosecute, yet he diverts public attention from his corrupt government officials. Then we have here, the Attorney General must be charged for causing financial loss to the state. Well, that's what we have for you here. Back to you, Lantam.
Thank you, Nanama Akwa, bringing us the details of your comments on social media. It's time now for the EIB Election Hub.
Election Hub. Credible, compelling, and comprehensive election coverage on TV, radio, and online.
The whole High Court has dismissed a petition brought before it challenging the validity of the election of John Peter Amewu as the Member of Parliament for the Hohoe constituency. Now, in 2020, 5 persons led by the NDC's 2020 parliamentary candidate for Hohoe, Professor Margaret Kweku, petitioned the court in 2021 to declare the elections in Hohoe as invalid, arguing that the exclusion of residents in Santro, Kofi, Akpafu, Lolobi, and Ligbe by the Electoral Commission using CI 128 is an illegality that could have otherwise affected the outcome of the elections. But both counsels for the EC and John Peter Amewu in the argument attacked the jurisdiction of the court over the matter.
After a protracted proceeding that started from 2021, the whole High Court has finally passed its verdict on the South case. The presiding judge, Justice Owehini Champo, before he delivered that verdict earlier today, indicated that the relief being sought by the petitioners are matters that border largely on constitutional provisions that only the Supreme Court has jurisdiction over. He indicated that for that matter, his hands are tied. he went ahead to dismiss the petition. The parties to the case have been reacting here at the court premises right after the verdict.
The verdict was given, and to God be the glory. It has just affirmed our long-held position that my brother, Honorable John Peter Mewu, has been duly elected by the people of GHOne. So, to us, it's a well-delivered verdict. Article 11.7 says that anything that becomes law in Ghana must be laid in Parliament same day and gazetted same day. So here we are. We have the CI 128 laid in Parliament somewhere in July, according to the evidence of the CI 128, and gazetted in gazetted in August, when Parliament had already risen. So this is a clear act of disregard to the rule of law, because what does not exist in law cannot be taken to the Supreme Court for interpretation.
But former NDC chairman for the GHOne constituency, George Ani Bansa, told GHOne that they will appeal the verdict.
I am honestly disappointed in today's proceedings and everything in court. By the judge, as I understand as a layman, hiding behind the constitutional issues that were raised by us, the petitioners, blah, blah, and saying that he had dismissed the case. But with that, for me, I have said and I continue to say, today's judgment or ruling has made me lose a lot of confidence in the courts again.
Today definitely is a bad day for the petitioners and of course the NDC here in the Volta region. But this very issue would definitely be top of the discussions as we head into the 2024 elections, particularly in the GHOne constituency. Reporting here from Ho and for GHOne, my name is Faisal Abdul Idrisu.
The flag bearer of the new patriotic party, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, will wrap up his Upper East Regional Constituency Focus campaign today. Dr. Bawumia has so far toured 13 out of the 15 constituencies, selling his message of bold solutions to chiefs and constituents, promising to focus on agriculture, digitalization, education, among others. My colleague Musa Lansa is on tour and he is joining us with more on this. And Musa, you've been with the Vice President as he's been embarking on this tour. He's supposed to bring the tour to an end today. What has it been like in terms of the reception to his message and all of that?
Well, Lantam, apart from the first day where there was no rain, the subsequent days of his campaign in the Upper East region has been characterized by rain in most of the constituencies he's visited. And that did not stop the supporters of the MPP from coming out to meet the flag bearer of the party. And he's been telling them about what he's always said since he announced his bid to become the flag bearer of the party and now leading the party into the 2024 election. Apart from a few places where he brought in new ones, he's talking about agri mechanization centers across districts that are into farming. He's also talking about a new policy that government is launching tomorrow, which is the district road improvement project, which President Akufo-Addo will be launching tomorrow with him at the Independence Square. And also finding ways of trying to help younger people and even older people. He says, notwithstanding your level of education, he's going to make sure that you get some education in the use of digital tools to help you navigate the digital space that is coming up. So the reception has been very good. The 3SHS has been touted by some of the traditional rulers. He's currently in Binduri, Lantam. As you can see in the shot there, he's at the Binduri St. Cleves Park, where he will be addressing party members. He's currently at the Binduri Chief's Palace, where he's engaging with the chief of the Binduri traditional area. From there, he will go to a spot where the constituency chairman's car was burnt a couple of days ago before coming here to address the party supporters, and then move to the Zebula constituency and finally end in the Bolgatanga Central constituency, where he's going to be meeting with traditional rulers and then the party supporters as well. So after that, he moves to the northern region and then heads to Accra for the launch of the district road improvement program that will be done tomorrow at the Independence Square, Lantam.
Very well, Musa Lansa, thank you for bringing us that update from the Upper East region. Now, former Deputy Finance Minister and Obuasi West MP, Kweku Kwating, has backtracked on his support for a private member's bill seeking to bar government appointees from purchasing state properties. Earlier reports suggested that the bill, which is being spearheaded by the North Tong MP Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, has the backing of the former chairman of the Finance Committee. But Mr. Kwating, in an exclusive interview with our Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Ibrahim Al-Hassan, says until both sides of the House agree on the bill, he will not support it.
Appended our signatures to any such bill yet. I think that has to be put on record. The idea was suggested by some members of parliament. Some of us think it will not be a bad law because in the past, under the NDC administration, there have been accusations of people in influential positions using their position to buy state assets at prices that were not right. Under this administration, we've heard similar accusations. There's nothing wrong with having a law that tidies up how that could be done. So in principle, it won't be a bad law. But before such a law would receive the signature of, say, myself and others, we need to be sure that the two caucuses are in agreement so that this does not become some political football and one side wants it, one side doesn't want it. So we have not done the consultation. It is the idea that we have all bought into. But whether or not I and the NPP members whose name have been mentioned and others would support it would depend on the fact that it's a bipartisan. Because when the idea started, the discussion was that it ought to be a bipartisan bill, and so we're hoping that it will be bipartisan. If we cannot get consensus right now, we need to understand why, see what changes we can, but we will not, I for instance will not support it unless I'm sure that it's a bipartisan bill.
And that's it for the EIB Election Hub on Newsroom today.
Election Hub. Credible, compelling, and comprehensive election coverage on TV, radio, and online.
Now, the Krowa Municipal Education Directorate in the Krowa Municipal Assembly has charged parents and schools to adopt critical thinking, innovation, and digitalization in shaping their lives of their children. The directorate describes the elements as powerful on their own, converging to create a transformative force that is redefining industries, education, and the society at large. There's more in the following reports.
The Primus Hybrid School in the Krowa Municipal Assembly held its graduation and speech and prize-giving day with a call on parents and teachers to train their children to be critical thinkers, change makers, and more resilient. Speaking on the theme, the impact of critical thinking, innovation and digitalization on the 21st century, the Public Relations Officer of the Krowa Municipal Education Directorate, Ni Laye Okain, emphasized the need for parents to embrace a more dynamic approach driven by technology and adaptability to make graduates more competitive.
All parents and guardians to make technological gadgets available to their wards to facilitate easy learning. As we embrace these components of critical thinking, innovation, and digitalization, we must prioritize teacher training, infrastructure development, and equitable access. By doing so, we can ensure that every student, regardless of background or location, can harness the full potential of 21st century education.
The principal of Primus Hybrid School, Ekuasegu, explained that the impacts of critical thinking, innovation and digitalization on the 21st century not only shapes the present, but also paves the way for a future marked by creativity, connectivity and progress.
We have moved away from rote learning, where children just learn everything by heart. Now it's some time for children to actually understand what they learn and apply it to everyday life. So we've moved past the time where you would just learn for learning's sake. Now you have to understand what you learn and apply it. And it's very hands-on, practical, it's student-centered. It's the children. The teacher is just a facilitator. You are there to direct. And that is where 21st century education is moving towards.
The ceremony, which featured colorful performances from learners, also saw pupils graduate from kindergarten to primary to high school and 18 JHS leavers. The event included special recognition for outstanding students and rising stars in their respective classes.
Now, the Mobile Money Agents Association of Ghana is describing the report on the decline of mobile money in June as unsurprising and not a shock to them. We've got details of this and more coming up on Business on Newsroom. The Mobile Money Agents Association of Ghana says the report that mobile money transactions declined in the month of June is unsurprising and not a shock to them. According to the association, they witnessed the cost of doing business slow down, with some businesses folding due to the decline in activity. The Bank of Ghana's data disclosed a significant decline in mobile money for the month of June 2024, and according to the data, the total number of mobile transactions dropped from 668 million in May 2024 to 644 million in June 2024. Although the number of registered Momo agents increased by 5,000 from 843,000 to 848,000, the number of active agents dropped by about 16,000. Additionally, the total transaction value of checks cleared through mobile money fell from 33.5 billion Ghana cedis to 28.2 billion Ghana cedis from May to June 2024. This indicates a total value of Momo transactions dropping from 243.3 billion Ghana cedis to 224 billion Ghana cedis. With mobile money interoperability, the total transaction value decreased from 2.8 billion Ghana cedis to 2.7 billion Ghana cedis, while the total number of transactions fell from 17.7 million to 16 million Ghana cedis. We'll now engage the Executive Secretary of the Mobile Money Agents Association of Ghana, Evans Otumfuo. We'll engage him via Zoom. Now, thank you very much for joining us. How are agents in your association reacting to this news that is coming from the Bank of Ghana about the figures with regard to mobile money transactions? Already it's been said that it's not something that is surprising.
Yes, thank you for having me. In fact, like we may all be aware, from I think the second quarter of this year, we've all of a sudden started experiencing certain shocks within our business space. And so for the Bank of Ghana to actually come out with this data it is not really coming to us as surprising, because for some time now we have really seen, decline in the consumer behavior in terms of mobile money usage or adoptability. And so it is quite unfortunate that we have to be experiencing this at this time. We have been talking about a lot of challenges or difficulties that the business is currently facing, which would predominantly include the presence of the electronic transactions levy and other economic indicators or factors that are actually affecting the Ghanaian consumer and businesses like that of the mobile money agents as well.
Very well. We'll leave it here, but I'm grateful that you joined us here on Newsroom to shed a bit more light on this. And you just heard us speak to Evans Otumfuo, who is the president of the Mobile Money Vendors Association. And stay tuned. You're still watching Newsroom here on GHOne TV. We'll return to bring you some more stories. Welcome back to Newsroom here on GHOne TV. It's time for sports. Monica Bukari is in the studio with the details. Good afternoon, Monica.
Good afternoon, Lantam. Lantam, officially Ghana began its Olympic event today with swimmer Harry Stacey, but unfortunately he came nowhere near the finishing line. He's reacted to his event, and I'll bring you details of that shortly, so do stay. Ghana's Harry Stacey finished 7th in the men's 100-meter freestyle event at the Olympic Games. The debutant clocked a time of 51.12 seconds in heat 4, lane 6 of the round, which was not enough to secure a slot in the semi-finals. This time is below his personal best of 50.57 seconds achieved at the Africa Aquatic Swimming Championship. His outing was Ghana's first at the ongoing Games in Paris. Next up for Ghana is Giselle Mensah, who will participate in swimming on August 3rd. But Harry Stacey has reacted to his event, so let's take a listen to that.
It was good. I mean, like, just seeing my family in the crowd as well, seeing the Ghana people coming to support me. I heard them all cheering, so I'm really grateful for the support. As for my swim, it wasn't my best. Normally I'm first to 15 meters or second, and then also first to the turn. And this time around, I think I was around 4th, so my first 50 wasn't my best. But the second 50 coming back, I did what I normally do, so I'm not too mad at the performance, but it wasn't my best showing. So building blocks for the future, for sure. Yeah, there's been just learning experience after learning experience. Definitely, yeah, building blocks for the future. Hoping to come back for the next Olympics, and I've learned a lot already. So yeah, just looking forward to these next 4 years. Train hard. I knew a couple of people in my heat, and it was fun racing them. And yeah, just a good overall experience. Yeah, I'm happy with it. The road to get to these Olympics has been extremely difficult. I mean, like, there's just challenge after challenge after challenge. So my mum, she knows what I've been through, and it's a proud moment for me to be able to see everyone there in the crowd cheering me on and just be able to experience it all. So yeah, hoping to come back for Ghana, get some more medals, and definitely improve.
Now, still in Paris, Japan surged past its longtime rival China to win gold in the Paris Olympics men's gymnastics on Monday, while the USA earned bronze for their first medal since 2008. It was Japan's 8th team gold and first since Rio de Janeiro in 2016. The Japanese overtook their rivals on the final rotation after China's Su Wade fell twice off the horizontal bar. Japan won with a small margin of 0.532 points. Now let's bring you more sports at 1 p.m. where we bring you all the details happening in Paris with myself and Benghazi. My name is Monica Bukari. Back to you, Lantam.
Thank you, Monica, with the details in sports. Let's look at international news now. "63 people have been killed and dozens are feared trapped after heavy rains triggered massive landslides in the state of Kerala. Landslides struck hilly areas in Wayanad district in the early hours of Tuesday, and rescue operations are underway, but are being hindered by heavy rains and the collapse of a crucial bridge. Indian's army has sent more than 200 personnel to the area to assist the security forces in search and rescue efforts. Local hospitals are treating at least 100 injured, and around 250 people have been rescued and shifted to rescue camps so far. Apart from the 36 confirmed deaths, 9 bodies have been found in the Chalia River, which flows into the neighboring Malappuram district. Well, that's it for Newsroom here on GHOne TV. Thank you very much for watching. For more news, do log on to starfm.com.gh. My name is Lantam Papanko. Have a good day.